Hello. I am not sure if I'm on yet. I think I am. Fingers crossed. Okay. So, welcome back to my channel and my podcasts, all those extremely fun things. So, yeah, welcome back. I'm just getting everything set up. So, it's like a lot of things kind of going at once, but I'm really happy to be here. So I know I haven't done or honestly focused on my YouTube or my podcast in a little while. There's been so much going on: COVID, my birthday, working out life. I injured my foot really badly, so now I have a cast. So it's just like so much crazy life stuff happening. So I'm here today to talk about one of my favorite shows, Married at First Sight. So I'm really excited. And I thought it'd be fun to do it from like a therapist perspective. I've kind of been getting a little lackadaisical with my podcast topics and my channel content. And I thought, hey, let me just sit in front of a computer, talk about my favorite show, see if it bites. If you guys can comment below, it would be pretty awesome because it's going to just encourage me. I think if you don't get any views, it's kind of like blanket. I guess I'm not going to be doing anything. But, when you get a little comments, it just makes you want to keep going week after week. So this is episode 2. So I'm going to do a quick summary. We're going to go to some fun psychology stuff, my thoughts, and then predictions and hopes for next episode. And we'll be following it along together. Before I begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to Bondi Blue. I love her. I love her so much. I love her reviews. I love her channel. I love her New Orleans accent. So I just want to shout her out in this video, as well as Stephanie Lee. I love Stephanie Lee. And there's another guy that does reviews, but Stephanie Lee, I love her because she's a therapist and she inspired me to even, I never even thought of putting the therapist and thing together. So I love Stephanie. And I also love, and congrats on the baby. And I also like, I think for Mindless Brilliant, something Brilliance. I'm forgetting his name, but he's really good too. So super excited. And I'm going to begin. So I give a shout out to the people that's already doing the great work, and you guys should follow them. I'll probably link them below. So, Married at First Sight, we're in New Orleans. New Orleans, NOLA. It is very interesting because I love New Orleans. I probably go like once or twice a year. My best friend Bales is there. And it's just a fun place. There's so much to do, but I can imagine it being a hard city to date. There's so many bars. There's so many tourists coming in and out. I'm in Orlando. There's so many tourists coming in and out. So I just feel like with big cities, you get the culture, you get the vibe, you get the gusto. But I can imagine it being hard to date. That's just my opinion, being in a city, being a millennial. So I don't know. But it should be interesting to see where the show ends up and how they're doing it compared to like maybe Charlotte, which is like still a big city, but a lot more, I think, kind of homely and, family life. So I wonder how it's going to go with New Orleans. It should be interesting. So the couples we have are Myles and Karen, Woody and Emani, Olivia and Brent, Amelia and Barnett, and Christina and Hughes. So a lot of couples there. I guess I'll start off with my thoughts on the couples, and then we'll kind of go into some fun psychological stuff. So the first part, Myles and Karen. Everyone's mad at Karen. Karen, you have this great God-fearing black man. Girl, everyone's mad at Karen. But I will say I can see both sides. So let me bring it on in. I will say first and foremost, I do like Myles. He's attractive. He's God-fearing. He dresses really well. He seems really excited for the process. Seems that he's self-motivated. He seems already pretty focused. I get that vibe from him and Hughes a lot, as well as I think Barrett, I think his name Barnett, the nerdy guy. I get those 3 guys. I get the view that we're guys, we're ready for marriage. Let's do this. Woo woo, So I really like that. But it's not all that meets the eye. We have to remember this is our first time meeting them. Not everything that looks good on the outside looks great on the outside. And I just want to have that hesitancy. Karen. I like Karen. Karen she gives me classy. She gives me it's so funny she said she's introverted because I got more like ambivert vibes from her. Like I could see her being introverted, I could see her being extroverted. It's still interesting, you know. I think when she talked about joining the show, you know, she said she wanted to try something different and she was getting older, but she is very shy. And I think I resonate a lot with Karen. A lot of my friends want me to go on the show, but even doing this YouTube thing and this podcast thing is a lot for me. I'm like, so I could not do Married at First Sight. I don't think I could. But I will say that, you know, for trying it, you know, she said in her wedding vows, I know the man I'm marrying is brave and courageous for going on a show and getting married to a woman he doesn't know. But she should also say the same thing about her. She is also brave. She is also courageous. And there's something to be said about her taking initiative and about everyone on the show taking a sense of initiative and trying to, you know, get married at first sight on the show. So I'm rooting for them. I do understand Karen's apprehension. And, you know, while people are like saying she's superficial and there's no such thing as a type and you need to do things differently, we all have our safe comforts, right? We all have the expectations and dreams and hopes and goals. And we also have just some societal conditioning, you know? For some women, they've just been told most of their life they might be with this kind of person or that kind of person. Even myself, I get frequently told I'm going to be with this kind of person, that kind of person. So dropping all of that to just be with someone and they just don't kind of meet it all encompassing right then and there, it can be a little stressful. So I feel for Karen in terms of the apprehension, the caution, not wanting to make a mistake, wanting love, being lonely. That's a whole other conversation because I kind of got that theme throughout the women. I just think women are doing so good now. The careers of the women seem really good and strong friendships and family. Something else I noticed when the guys were introducing their entrance on the show, it was around friends, and when the women were doing it, it was around family. So I think that's very interesting, and it really says something about our support systems. And generally, statistically, women do have better support systems, and we actually do statistically better single. Not that we do less better when we're married or partnered, but if you're going to compare single men to single women actually fare a lot better because we have our support systems of friends and families. We maintain social support systems, and for many of us, we don't really think we're an island, whereas a lot of single men tend to do that. At least that's what the research says. So it should be interesting to see. And Myles, you know, I like his enthusiasm. I like the fact that he's willing to try and put his best foot forward. I think when you watch shows like this, you always do ask, why are you single? You know, and it's so annoying because I hate when people ask me that. I hate when people ask other people that. And it's like annoying because it's so many different, I think honestly, majority of it's timing. Majority of it is right place, wrong time. Majority of it is I hang out with girls. I don't have any guy friends, whatever the case may be. But it should be interesting to see. Karen and Myles. Second up, Woody and Emani. Woody and Emani, very, very interesting couple. Woody, I get a youngest child vibe. I get playful, life of the party, always down for the cause. Very team oriented, can kind of gel into anything. And those are kind of good vibes to have, a social butterfly of sorts. And even though I think looking at Woody for the first time, you're like, oh my God, he's too much of a party boy, playboy. And I don't think he's going to really like this. It does say something about actually having him there and having him, you know, on the show, trying something. And there is something about having a partner that's really good in social situations, that's extroverted, that's fun, that's always going to keep things spicy. So I say it to say that, you know, while he can be looked on the negative side, there's some really great attributes about Woody. And I think that it can possibly turn over for the better lead. The one red flag, and I guess a dating tip or a relationship thing we can take out, is interview the friends and the family. They're onto something and they know something. So with Woody, his friends were like, oh no, It's a joke. You're joking, right? You're totally joking, right? And Woody's like, no, I'm going to actually get married. And that said everything. That said a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And people are very, tight about their friends and family and showing them and introducing them to new people. But that might be a good tip. And even though I doubt friends will be kind of oversharing or kind of embarrassing their part, the friend and, meaning you, I think it's a good thing because the friends were onto it. The friends were calling it out. So I think another thing they can do on the show is interview friends, maybe, and get a counselor, cough, cough, after I finish grad school. Well, I'm not grad school. After I finish my doctorate, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to consult and be a Dr. Viviana. Can we speak it into existence? Dr. Lee? Dr. Leia? Can we please? Okay, so I'm just playing. But it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool. Just saying. So Woody and Emani. Emani. I like Emani. I think she comes off down to earth, tell it like it is. The one thing I loved about Emani too, she did seem nervous before she walked down the aisle, but she really, to me, seemed healthy expectation wise. She wasn't all like falling all over the other person, but she wasn't holding back so much it was awkward. And I think that's really cool and like such a good emotional skill to have, to be okay under pressure and to not take things too seriously and not take things too much of a playfulness. I think that quality will really help balance out in terms of Woody's extroversion. And I think Woody's extroversion will be a benefit and an asset to Emani. That adventurous spirit, that dancing, that, kind of getting you in the vibe, that jovialness, I think that's going to be an asset. And I'm rooting for them too. I'm such an optimist and a romantic, and I'm a therapist. So I should have put this in the beginning of the video. I am not your therapist. I am not your licensed therapist. I am not the therapist for the show. This is just fun, psychological, nerdy me liking a show, talking about it. I am not giving, please don't sue me. This is under people and blogs. Culture. That is it. That's all I have to say. So yeah. Next one. Olivia and Brent, I think, or Brent? I think. Okay. Olivia and Ben. I think Olivia and Ben. Or Amelia and Ben. I'm confusing the two right now. I think Barnett is I think Amelia and Barnett got married tonight. So I'll go to them. Amelia and Barnett. I like Amelia. I think most of the women seem down to earth. Amelia seems really homely. She likes cats. She works out. She seems really, I don't like the term high functioning, but she just seems like boxes are definitely checked. I mean, when she was telling Barnett, she works out 3 times a week. She has a cat. She likes her family. She goes out with her friends. My therapist head, I'm like, social, exercise, nutrition, sensory. Like, she just really seems like she has it together. And it really just seems like a companionship would just be a +1. I don't really have any qualms about Amelia. I do see it as a tints of perfectionism. And she did say she's controlling and she likes things her way. So I do think Amelia's going to have to work on a little compromise and possibly a little, what does it mean to have somebody enter your space and you got your own juju going? And I'm kind of speaking to myself a little bit because I'm also similar to Amelia. I have a system. I have a very full life. But, there is something to be said about letting somebody enter a system that has been running on the tracks for years. And I hope you can keep up because I am not a fan of slowing down the system. So I don't know. That's just some intuitive stuff. But oh my God, eyelash is like sticking. I'm so sorry. My eyelash is like annoying me. Okay, sorry. That's just something I'm getting from Amelia. So fingers crossed that doesn't come up. That's just something in intuition, I guess. Barnett. Barnett. At first, when we saw him, he's like, he got cheated on. He wants to get married. Positive about Barnett. I like the fact that he had a big family. His friends were there. I really like the community he had around him. I don't know if they check him. I don't know if he's honest with them as he should be, as most men should be. But I did like that. There's a lot of isolated loner men out there. So it was kind of refreshing to me to see him around all that family, all that love and the questions and everything. I like that, and I could appreciate that. I did like the fact, he exercises, he keeps in shape. That's always a really good thing, exercise, keeping in shape. It's always just a good thing. It's great for your mental health. Great for mental health, especially in lowering. Well, it's been correlated with lowering aspects of depression symptomology. Don't like Barnett, the flirtiness, the acts of the bachelor party. I watched the kind of the behind the scenes with Jamie Curtis, who I also love. I listen to her podcast as well. He was kind of really not taking too much accountability. I'm not going to be a big fan of that. That's giving me some gaslighting vibes. That's giving me some, well, I don't think it was that bad. I was just blah, 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 But I think Barnett is a good example of we can't tell people how they feel, right? So I can't yell and let off steam and then tell my partner or I tell somebody that's in the vicinity, not to feel scared or frightened. I'm just letting off steam. It's like, I can let off steam, but I cannot tell someone that my actions or my behavior is not affecting them. So I am getting that little weird vibe from Barnett. I did like Wedding Barnett. Wedding Barnett seemed on it. He seemed really cautious and mature and slow moving. And Amelia seemed excited and, so we'll see with the two of them. I did like the fact that this season, the couples are just, compared to last season where like there was a high attraction, I would even go as far to say like some less aspects. This season, I think there's attraction, but there's like caution. There's like, let's get to know each other. Let's have some space. It's not like hot and heavy. I think last season was really hot and heavy. Like, ooh, I like you. Ooh, you're hot. Oh my God, we're married. And it's like this season, it's like, I like you, you like us, let's talk, let's get to know each other. So I don't know if it's COVID, I don't know if it's a turnaround, I don't know if it's like so much stuff happening so quickly, but I do like it. I think taking your time is fine. There's nothing wrong with taking your time. You have the whole time in the world to throw passion up in the air. So those were the three that got married tonight. I'll quickly go over the other two, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's for the next review. But Olivia and I think Ben or Bennet, the med school girl and the hipster guy, I'm rooting for them. I don't really see too much concerns. I think they're both open-minded. I think they both seem to have big hearts. I do think possibly Olivia will have to, it does seem like Bennet or Ben has more friends and stuff. So I don't know, that social piece might affect them, but that's just a prediction. We'll see. And then Christina and Hughes. I'm rooting for them. I don't really see too much concerns. I didn't like Christina at the bachelorette party. This is not me. Oh my God, how they could be doing this. I just want to hang out with my friends. It's like everyone's different. I'm personally more of a go with the flow. Strippers and everything might not be my thing. I'll sit outside and chill on my phone or walk around and talk to people. Like, if you watch seasons past, you just know they do like a group event and then it's the wedding, So it kind of seemed a little, I don't know, a little Debbie Downer. And we also don't know a lot about her. I rewatched the first episode and, she was talking about never getting flowers, but I don't know a lot about Christina. I don't know. And then Hughes, I like him a lot. I like him. He seems very self-aware, which I like. He seems high on ownership, high on, I used to be overweight and I worked out and I went through this heart thing and Now I'm improving on it. You know, I'm not the most confident guy, but I'm really chill. I really like that self-awareness. I really like that sense of ownership and that emotional literacy. So Hughes gets a thumbs up for me. Definitely. And I'm rooting for him. I do think, you know, the best friend, she's really pretty. And I'm not one to be like, oh, you know, a person can't have a best friend of the opposite gender, or people can't be platonic. And even though she's engaged, but you know, it's just always I guess rom-coms kind of socialize and mess us up in that capacity. But just something to consider. Like, okay, I like to know more. You know, do you guys ever date? Do you guys ever try? You know, just let me know. Kiki. So to the fun psychology part. So I only have 4 quick psych things. I'm not going to talk too long. I can't believe I'm already at 20 minutes. This is crazy. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, Myles' dad made a really good statement that I liked. He said, boy, in this marriage, you need to make deposits, not withdrawals. And he was like, less about the withdrawal fees and more about the focus on the deposit and the love. So we're going to lessen the withdrawal fees. So how do we withdraw in relationships, right? We think people can read our mind. We do the silent treatment. We have a hard time expressing our needs or how much we really care. We compare our partner to a ghost of an ex that they have never met. We seek to use our partner to fulfill this horrible parental fantasy of our partner filling roles that our parents never did. Ooh. So you just have to be careful with those withdrawals. We also withdraw by adultery. We withdraw by financial, you know, with adultery and mismanagement of wealth. We withdraw by using drugs and other substances to numb ourselves and take ourselves away from said relationship. We also withdraw by denying and saying no to ourselves sometimes, you know, giving and being such an enabler or a source of codependency that we lose ourselves in the relationship. I don't want to get too saucy, but we withdraw in many ways in relationships. And the piece that he says, increase the focus of the deposits, just some educative points. How can we increase the deposits in our close, intimate relationships? I think first and foremost, keeping lines of communication open, the good, the bad, the ugly, the sexy, the I want, the I need, the I think, the I like, the I want, the yes, yes, yes. I think we can also increase the withdrawals by a sense of surprise and spontaneity. That, I don't know why it tends to go out the window, but it's something that should kind of, you know, find the time and the gusto, even if it's quarterly. But that sense of surprise and spontaneity can be very helpful and advantageous. And it's not just simple as clothes or makeup or buying gifts or those kinds of things. Think of surprise and sentimentality. I repeat, think of surprise and sentimentality, right? So if I'm dating and my partner, my guy, he really likes the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? The surprise, right, might be going on a surprise trip to Houston where they'll be playing a game. So the surprise is the trip because he wasn't expecting the trip. He doesn't know what's going on the trip. And the sentimentality is the meaning, right? So I'm not just taking him to Houston because I want to go to Beyonce Museum or I want to meet friends there or we have a mutual friend having a wedding there. All those are great things. But I know Jacksonville Jaguars are important to him. So I'm encapsulating my deposit with a sense of meaning. So I hope that was helpful. But tying in those two things can be incredibly beneficial for our relationships. I think the third thing that we can do in terms of depositing more in our relationships is just being observant. You know what I mean? People change throughout time. The things even I was looking at my phone, my pictures, and I was like, you changed so much. Like I looked at last year this time and I was like, oh, like I like this now. I like this now. I'm doing this now. So it's just really interesting kind of how you change, how you move with the times. So I think just being observant and seeing how your partner's moving with the times, seeing how you're moving with the times and how you guys can kind of meet in the middle. And I think the fourth thing that we can do to deposit in our relationships is to have a sense of interdependency, right? So this is me, this is him, this is us, right? This isn't us, because this can be a little bit of codependency. This isn't us, because this can be a little bit avoidant. But I will say, psychology says that different strokes are different folks. I know plenty of married couples that live in different states, that military, they're away from each other for months, almost years at a time. Different strokes for different folks. I'm from a South American background, so it's a lot of this, a little codependency. Married couples are always together. Their families are really close knit. They do majority of things together, and it just works for them. So I say that with a caveat, but best practices, what we see in the literature is a bit of interdependency. So yes, we watch the JAG games together. Yes, we both like traveling. Yes, we have our date nights every other week. But then I have my personal things that I do that I like, right? So I have my yoga that I like. Oh, who's kidding? Oh, I don't, y'all, I'm pretty sure that. So I have my yoga that I like to do. I have my just grad school, being a researcher, doing psychology, right? And then he has all his fun stuff that he likes to do. But I say all that to say that you're balancing the blends of we're together, but we are also individuals, right? And I think that whole deposit and withdrawals metaphor was really powerful. And the question I have for you guys as the listeners is just to ask yourself, what does marriage mean to you? And how do you feel about it? I'll repeat that. All my engaged couples, all my married couples, all my dating couples, what does marriage mean to you and how do you feel about it, right? And this is a good question, not just to ask before marriage, but during marriage and, yearly or a few times a year, but we're ever changing and ever evolving. So, I've been up too long today. So it might be a helpful thing to take into consideration. Second point. Woody makes a statement. I am afraid of the husband that I, right? This is confident, hotshot, bachelor. Oh my God, you're not really getting married, Woody. And oh my God, you're not really getting married, Woody has insecurities like every one of us, right? There's this horrible misconceptions that, extroverts just walk on air. They're not bothered by anything. And the most worst myth that I hear about extroverts, or we tend to do in our relationships with extroverts, we don't check on them. We don't even mentor them as much, right? Because they're so good. We look to them. They're the sun. We're getting the shine from them. But sometimes they need that shine. They need that hug. They need that embrace. And I kind of hear that a little bit with Woody. I think Woody at that moment was balancing cultural expectations versus realistic insecurities. Cultural expectation versus realistic insecurities, right? So what's the cultural expectation of a husband, right? So usually it's in Judeo-Christian American values, being a provider, happy wife, happy life, bigger and better, right? Y'all started out this way, year 1, year 5, I'm expecting X, Y, and Z. A lot of pressure on the finances too. You really don't see the whole laid off stress in women as much as you do in men. So I will say in the depressiveness and all that stuff. So a lot of pressure from the cultural expectations. Realistic insecurities, my past, right? His past that he could have, like, hey, I've dated a lot. I've never really seriously considered a serious relationship. And I don't know if I'm ready for this. The fear, is this girl I'm marrying going to be the actual one? What if she's better than me and I don't measure up? Those are real insecurities. And I think it just talks about that. And I think that's just a helpful thing to keep in mind, that we're always walking that fine line. And I have no psychological tools or strategies or solutions for that one. Self-esteem, self-kindness, self-awareness are things that we are always evolving in. We always need to be planting and pouring water into. And it's a very community and also isolative thing that we have to work on, right? And I might do a second series on that. So if you want me to, please message, comment, share, do the things so I can be encouraged, please. The third thing, I love. I think also Emani, and I think it was Amelia too. I'm not sure. But Emani had both her father and her stepfather in the same room, happy, talking to her together, really making her not feel as nervous. And I really like that. I think I would love to see more depictions of that, right? The divorce rate is 50%, right? Second marriages are becoming more of a thing. Blended families are becoming more of a thing. And, statistically, there's just a lot of tension in blended families. There's a lot of tension with stepchildren, step parents. And there could be that in Emani's family, but I just thought it was really heartwarming to see both of the men in the same room talking, encouraging their daughter. And I think that support is everything. And, I'm gonna go far and say it, just Black fathers having a real sweet, intimate moment with their daughter, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm always gonna champion that. And we need to see more of that statistically in our communities, which is a whole other conversation. But I love that. And I just hope that was inspiring to people watching that. And I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I just thought it was absolutely amazing. And I think they calmed her down. I think they did, the advice that they offered. And I think the stepdad made a good point. I'm more traditional. I didn't agree with it, but seeing you excited made me grow into it, And I think he said something like, I ride or die with you, or I support you. You fell into this, I support you. And that's honestly such a little hug, we hope to get that from our support system. Well, not all the time, sometimes the things we want, the things we ask for, they might be immoral. They might be not healthy for us. We might be driving at 100 miles an hour and the speed limit 70. And we do need our friends and family to pull us over and shine the lights and embarrass us and get us, a ticket. And sometimes, we're at the speed limit and they're used to us moving a little slower. And we need our friends and family to put on their seatbelts and go on the ride with us, So this question I put out to you, who do you need to put on your seatbelts and go on the ride with you? And who do you need to kind of put the lights, behind you and pull you over? And think about in your life, who's the people that can pull you over and put on the lights? And who are the people that for the cause? Sometimes those people are different people. Sometimes they're the same people, but really good, strong support systems to have, right? And the one thing I like about that analogy that I'm thinking of right now is neither of those people are fixers, right? So the person that pulls you over and gives you the ticket, they're not fixers because you have to pay the ticket. You got to somehow go back on the road and you got to somehow get your ego, confidence, and rebuild that relationship because there's a little bit of a withdrawal. And then the people that ride in the back seat, they're not fixing it either. You're the one driving. You could make the wrong turn. You could, end up crashing and being like, dang, you should have been driving slower. So I love the fact that both of them are supporters, but they're not fixers. So just examples of really healthy support systems that we should all have in our life. Last but not least, there's another quote in the show. This is by Emani. I hope we can communicate our joys and fears so that our connection only strengthens over time. I love that piece. One of my favorite vows of the night. I think most of the couples were nervous. I didn't really hear this. I don't know. I didn't really hear gut-wrenching, beautiful, oh my God, vows. I just heard good vows, nice vows, sweet vows, but a little nervous. Imani's vow, good. I do think everybody was nervous this season. Everybody was nervous. And but that piece about I hope we can communicate our joys and fears so our connection can only strengthen. It goes back to what I said in the beginning, a deposit, right? Communicating your joys and fears is so important. And not only that, communicating them to your partner is important. You'd be surprised how many couples I work with. And there's no cheating. Partner helps co-parent, helps parent really well. Usually pretty good sex life. And the couple goes through a lot of stress because they're still learning how to fit into each other's life, right? So before you meet somebody, you usually go to your friends or family, or you keep it into yourself about the highs, the lows, all those good things in life. You meet someone, there's attraction, there's a lot of dopamine, almost to a drug level, you know what I mean? And now you're supposed to transfer all that stuff to your partner, So it could be hard for some people. Many couples still struggle with that, right? So I meet couples all the time who are like, I found out about the promotion from the friend. I didn't get it from him, or I found out that she ended up applying to another job through Facebook versus her telling me, right? So that disclosure piece is important, both about the highs and the lows. I think we usually get the lows. By the lows happen, you're going to tell your partner because you usually want help or support or get it off your chest. But I think sometimes the highs, maybe it's a little bit of judgment, a little bit of you don't want to shake the table, emotional circumstances at the time. Some of us have a hard time telling our joys to our partners, to our loved ones. And I just want to encourage you to tell your joys, tell your fears, and also use your friends and family. I don't think it should be a codependency. I don't think your partner holds all your joys, loves, and fears, and you guys only tell each other everything. It's like you have friends and family and girlfriends, and and mystery is good as well too. Don't get me wrong. I don't think everything should be open, but a good amount for sure. So I'm not sure if this was helpful. I really enjoyed doing this video. I will definitely be doing one next week. I enjoyed doing this podcast as well. So thank you so much for joining me. If you really like my work, you can support me by following my podcast at Lovely and Fresh. So Lovely and Fresh podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, the whole shebang. Fresh Progress Wellness is my overall brand. So my YouTube, Fresh Progress Wellness, my Instagram, Fresh Progress Wellness. It's just my brand that kind of sticks with me. I know I need something a little bit more catchy, something with my name in it, but I am way too much of an overthinker to start putting my name and stuff. I'm not that strong or confident yet, but just grow the Fresh Progress brand. We want to have fresh progress. We want to be, better progress people. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you guys really like it. Comment below. What do you guys expect for next episode? Let me know what was your favorite tips and parts of this video. And you guys have a great one. If you know any engaged couples or any couples kind of on the route to get married, can you send this to them? I would love to get their thoughts and love to get all their judge and good stuff. So thank you so much. And you guys have a great day. And let me know in the comments below. Bye.